Hari Om. Today is the 8th mantra of section 2 of chapter 3. The mantra is Yatha Nadya Shandamana Samudre Astangachandi Nama Rupe Vihaya Tatha Vidwan Nama Rupat Vimukta Paratparam Purusham Upayati Divyam. Now let us see the Shankara Bhashya brief meaning on this. He says, just as rivers flowing become lost in an ocean, giving up both their name and form, just so the knower, the seeker, freed from name and form, attains the bright Purusha, which is beyond Avyakta, which is the Supreme Self. This is a brief meaning. Now we'll try and see a little bit explanation onto this portion. The graceful merger of a man of realization into the Brahman is explained here with an illustration of an example of rivers flowing into the ocean. All the rivers flowing into the ocean. When the man of realization turns his gaze inward, Kaschit Dhira Pratyagatmanam Aikshat. He turns his gaze inward and identifies himself with the pure, unconditioned self within. He gets merged with the Supreme Self, as there is nothing to condition his self. Neither the ignorance, nor the vasanas, nor the thoughts, nor the desires, nor the actions of egocentric nature. There is nothing to envelop the self. Therefore, he becomes the self. Jivatma merges with the Paramatma. An absolute case of an effect merging with the cause on its destruction of names and forms. The example taken is the rivers flowing towards the ocean will reach their common destiny and get themselves merged therein to become themselves nothing but the ocean. So too, the ego center mechanism becomes merged with the Purusha and becomes one with him. The different names and qualities of the river, say the childish Jamuna or the royal Ganges, the ferocious Brahmaputra, the dancing Krishna, the mighty Kaveri, or the rumbling Saraswati, all of them surrender their individual names and qualities, locations and arrogations to become one with the great, grand and grandeur of the ocean. Now look at the beauty of the example chosen. We have seen that different rivers, surrendering their names and qualities, merge with the ocean. There is so many rivers. All the rivers with different names and forms merge with the ocean. That is one aspect of the example. That is why I am saying this is a two-tier example. So all the rivers put together, just as all the rivers put together merge into the ocean, so too the different names and forms which earlier the seeker had all merge into the ocean. Now the same is the case with individual rivers also. What we now said is a collective, all the rivers put together. Now what about individual river? Let me explain. The waters of the ocean originally, before the river was born, the waters of the ocean in another form or part or color, we have seen the 16 colors, one of the colors, become the cloud or vapor by the shining sun. Because of the sunshine, the water gets evaporated, becomes a vapor or a cloud. And thereafter, it perambulates for a while in the sky in the name of cloud or vapor. But not water, not in the ocean, but in the sky. These clouds hit other clouds and burst itself in showers or rain. There is no more the cloud now. There is no more the vapor now. Certainly no more the water. But the origin is water. The rainwaters gather themselves, small streams, to form into a great stream and flows from a higher level to a lower level. And these streams are called as rivers in different names depending on its geographical course. And each river has her own characteristic qualities of water, flow, gush, according to the land through which they flow and the type of mineral content they gather from the Mother Earth. So the water, in the form of a portion of the water, in the form of clouds, get changed to clouds. The color, a small part, a color of the water gets formed into the cloud. The cloud changes itself into shower or rain. The rain forms itself in a different name altogether with a stream or a river. And each river has got its distinct name, distinct form, distinct quality, and distinct characteristics. They remain as a river. As long as they remain as a river, they have distinct personalities of their own with different, let us say, names, forms, qualities, etc. Each river has its own distinct qualities, isn't it? And remember, all these are in its original state of water from the ocean or the Kala from the Brahmaji. Now, Brahmaputra is not Missouri, Mississippi. Nile is not Amazon. Godavari is not Kaveri. So on and so forth. Just look at or see the sojourn of a drop of water of the ocean. How it travels. How that small sprinkle of color traveled in different names, forms from different parts of the country. See its transformation. See its loss of identity and regaining the same waters of the ocean, the vapor or the cloud, rainwater, stream, river. Different names, different forms. And this river rediscovers itself when it merges with the ocean, its home, the Hari home. No identity, no distinction, no names, no forms, all into the huge mass of homogeneous water. See how beautiful the example is? In the same way, from the Purusha rises ego center, and flowing through the 16 colors, reach back the source of all energy, dynamism, and life to become merged there into one homogeneous whole called Brahman. This is the long story of the end of the, what shall I say, mortal life. Where does it end? It ends at the portals of his self-discovery. So long as a seeker has a concept of separativeness, which he maintains as his false identifications with the matter developments or wrappings about him, so long in him will exist the samsara or ego center. This ego, what he is experiencing, is a painful mortal suffering the limitations of the false world. The minute he wakes up from his illusory dream and realizes his true nature as a waker, where is a dreamer and the dream world? Simply and completely merged into the waker without any traces of the experience of the dream haunting him. This idea is further elaborated in the next mantra, and the Rishi in the next mantra holds out a hope to generations and generations of a seeker as to what would happen to not only to the seeker but also to his clan, to his generation, as to how they would fare in their life if there is one man who is self-discovered man in his line of lineage. Let us see tomorrow what the stanza has to say. Today is a very short description of the stanza, because nothing in greater detail to explain, except the glory of that example, which I think I have conveyed to you, the manner in which it is required to be conveyed. The rest are all things which you have already known, that the Atman merges into, that the Jivatma merges into the Paramatma. So that is what has been repeated again and again. The Rishis are repeating the same thing. Next stanza also you will find a repetition. Therefore I think it's as it tapers down, the time that we take may be slightly less than the normal time. Therefore you should have no reason to complain about the excess time, but certainly you may have to spend excess time as homework to understand the implications of the stanza for your own self-development. Hari Om. Thank you.